If you enjoy World War II history, stick around as we honor the heroic that stood against the Nazi regime. We now will step into the lives of the oppressed Polish Jews and their bravery, focusing mainly on one brave man. Mordechai Anielewicz, born in 1919, emerged as a pivotal figure during one of the darkest periods of history, the Holocaust. He led the Jewish Combat Organization, or WWII, taking charge during the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising. This brave resistance was the largest of its kind during World War II, where Anielewicz's leadership became an inspiration for other rebellions across ghettos and extermination camps. His legacy is cemented as a symbol of courage and sacrifice. Anielewicz hailed from a Polish Jewish family and experienced a typical childhood in Wyszków, just outside Warsaw. He had a vibrant early life, completing his education at Tarbut, which emphasized Hebrew language and culture. His teenage years were marked by his involvement in various youth movements, shifting from Betar to ha-shomer ha-zerem, indicating his political evolution. The tumult began with the German invasion of Poland on September 7, 1939. Anielewicz, driven by a sense of duty, joined a group heading east, hoping to rally support for a stronger Polish defense against the advancing German army. However, circumstances took a drastic turn when the Soviet Red Army invaded eastern Poland, complicating the situation for Jewish refugees seeking safety. In his quest to organize resistance, Anielewicz traveled to Wilno to urge fellow youth movement members to continue fighting against the Germans. His efforts included planning a route for Jews to escape to Palestine. Sadly, he was apprehended and imprisoned by Soviet authorities, but he returned to Warsaw in January 1940, shortly after his release. Upon his return, Anielewicz became increasingly active in organizing resistance efforts. He established underground movements, conducted meetings, and created a clandestine newspaper entitled Neged ha-zerem, demonstrating his commitment to the cause. As 1940 unfolded, the grim reality of the Warsaw Ghetto began to take shape. By mid-November, approximately 400,000 Jews were forcibly relocated into this harsh environment, subjected to overcrowded conditions, scarce resources, and rampant disease. As reports of mass killings reached the ghetto, Anielewicz took immediate action, forming defensive groups among the Jewish population. However, his early attempts to collaborate with the Polish resistance were met with setbacks. In March 1942, he co-founded an anti-fascist group, yet it succumbed to external pressures shortly after its formation. By mid-1942, with German authorities intensifying their extermination efforts, the urgency for armed resistance became critical. The horrific deportations began, targeting thousands of Jews daily. Anielewicz's determination to fight back grew stronger, even as his community faced the grim truth of their precarious existence. The situation escalated on July 22, 1942, coinciding with Tisha B'Av, a day of mourning in the Jewish calendar. This marked the onset of the deportations that would lead to the deaths of hundreds of thousands in extermination camps. In the face of overwhelming odds, Anielewicz emerged as a beacon of hope for those resolutely committed to resist. His story is a testimony of bravery and tenacity amidst despair. As we continue to reflect on the courageous actions taken by Mordechai Anielewicz, we must remember the incredible resilience of those who stood up against such atrocious circumstances, leaving an enduring legacy in the fight for justice and humanity. In October 1942, a pivotal moment ignited within the Warsaw Ghetto. The Jewish resistance forged a connection with the Polish Home Army, which facilitated the smuggling of essential weapons into the ghetto. By January 1943, amidst constant threat and turmoil, the resistance had constructed around 600 bunkers. Armed with homemade grenades and Molotov cocktails, every fighter was prepared for the coming struggle, although they desperately lacked more advanced weaponry. On January 18, 1943, the Germans resumed their brutal deportations, and Anielewicz, along with other leaders, took decisive action. They sparked a confrontation by attacking German soldiers during an evacuation. This act of defiance, though marked by hardship and loss, symbolized a crucial turning point. It signaled the Polish underground's readiness to support Jewish resistance with weapons. As tensions escalated, the uprising gained momentum, leading to the fateful day of April 19th. Early that morning, the Germans launched their final assault on the ghetto. Jewish fighters showcased immense bravery, countering with pistols, grenades, and improvised weapons, striking from rooftops and hiding spots. Despite being outgunned, the Jews leveraged their intimate knowledge of the ghetto's layout, creating a fierce, unexpected resistance. For just 2 hours, the Germans retreated, caught off guard by this guerrilla-style fighting. The next day, German forces regrouped, and once again, they faced a determined defense with approximately 750 Jewish fighters engaged against them. In a symbol of hope, 2 young boys raised Polish and Jewish flags atop a house, catching the eye of high-ranking Nazi officials, including Himmler. Nevertheless, as the days unfolded, the Germans intensified their strategy by employing artillery and flamethrowers, forcing many Jews out of their protected spaces into the flames or perilous escape routes. As the conflict dragged on past the initial days, the situation grew dire. On April 24th, resistance remained fierce, even as the German forces captured thousands of Jews and destroyed hundreds of bunkers. On May 7th, a critical bunker was discovered, leading to the capture of many, including Anielewicz. Tragically, while the official fate of Anielewicz remains uncertain, he is remembered among those who fought valiantly in those final days, a testament to the indomitable spirit that echoed throughout the ghetto. Even as the uprising faced inevitable suppression by May 16, 1943, the spirit of resistance continued. Surviving fighters became guerrillas, often sacrificing their lives rather than face capture. This saga of bravery underscored the resilience of hope amid despair, ensuring the legacy of those who fought bravely endured through time.